Hello everyone, Bashar here. So we are together with another fusion video. This one is a little bit late. Yeah, I didn't have the time. So this fusion is already live, as you know. He's a defense-based legendary champion from Ogren Tribes faction. He has barrels for fists. Yeah, Brewguard Jeroboam. It's a fragment event, so you can summon him whenever you like. During a CVZ for 30,000 points or during a champion chase for 500 points. So that alone makes it worth it in my book. But the champion himself is not very good. Let's just get into it, and then I can share my final thoughts on him. So start smash. Attacks one enemy twice, has a 35% chance of decreasing the cooldown of random allied skill by one turn, gets booked up to 50%, and if an ally had their cooldown decreased indeed, they get 10% turn meter fill. Well, it is a little bit too humble, but then again, it's only an A1. And thing is, notice that it's not each hit, so when it's booked, you will have a 50% chance of decreasing the cooldown, and when that happens, if that happens, they get 10% turn meter. This rounds on me, books down to 3 turn cooldown, removes all debuffs from all allies, heals all allies by 15% of this champion's max HP. It's always good if the healing is based on the healer's HP rather than the champion's HP, because thing is, guys, if you are healing a damager, especially attack-based damage or something, the HP would be low and they wouldn't be getting too much healing out of it. But you make this guy 100k and you are going to get a nice 15k healing, and it would be important on a champion that has like 40k HP. Also heals all allies by an extra 2% for each debuff removed from them. Okay. Then place a shield on all allies equal to 15%. So the amounts are a little too modest, right? And he doesn't hit, right? I mean, this looks like a little bit of a Hydra skill. In Hydra, I just don't like the champions that don't hit by too much, right? Yeah. No, won't play in Hydra because the third ability doesn't hit either. Let's take a look. Has a books up to 100%, increases our buffs. Increases enemy debuffs and increases our buffs, and 50% turn meter. I mean, guys, maybe it's a little bit wrong to compare it with Mythical, but the thing is, Mikage does increase our buffs, decrease our debuffs, increase enemy debuffs, and decrease enemy buffs all at once with a single ability, and she hits at the same time. This guy increases their debuffs and increases our buffs, which are the two most important ones, but still the others have some value, and he doesn't hit, and he gives us 20% turn meter with a 4 turn cooldown, no less, not 3. Wow. Yeah, bad champion. Anyway, so he's looking at the passive. I guess he's supposed to be some sort of Armand's counter. Sometimes they release some extreme overpowered champion and then they try to balance it by some other guy, but their hearts were not exactly into it, right? Because this is not an Armand's counter at all. Anyway, what he does is turn meter reduction effects against this guy are working at half efficiency, right? That's what it means. And whenever an ally gets a hard CC, right? Stun, freeze, sleep, provoke, fear, true fear, petrification, sheep, whatever it is, right? He gets 20% turn meter. And guys, because this effect is not on cooldown, so you might notice that it says absolute legend and a 4 turn cooldown. So the thing is, the passive effect part is an absolute passive effect and it always works, right? The cooldown is meant for the active part of it, right? So what I mean by that is you receive multiple fears, etc., right? And this guy will get multiple instances of 20%. So let's say, you are fighting Hydra, right? And you have a guy that ally attacks, right? And you are attacking the head of torment, the head that fears you. So every single champion on your team has to be feared, right? And that means this guy is going to get 120% turn meter out of it, right? Because all 6 champions on your team have just gotten true fear on them, which will mean he will get an instant turn. Active effect is, so this time around, the passive part was for himself. The active part is for the other champions. Whenever those hard CC effects are removed or expires, well, actually he himself is also included, right? It says ally. They get 20% turn meter fill. So, let's say our entire team got petrified by Miltrala, right? This guy gets, in arena, right? We get 80% turn meter on him. And then when those petrifications get removed by our champions taking a turn, they get 20% of their turn meter back. So the thing is, the problem is, this won't make it, right? It's kind of an Armand's counter, but the thing is, Armand stuns us and we lose a whole turn. A 20% turn meter kind of cashback doesn't do it. Yeah, and this effect is on a 4-turn cooldown, gets booked down to 2 turns. So guys, which means I was just wrong, right? I mean, when Mitrala petrifies our entire team and they take their turns to get rid of the petrification, only the first champion that comes out of petrification gets 20% turn meter and the others don't, right? This feels like, to me, it should have been a 0-turn cooldown passive, right? I mean, a passive that works always. As it is, I don't like it too much. I don't like the champion at all. So guys, a lot of people would say this is a skippable fusion, right? And thing is, if there was such a distinguishment, between fusion champions as skippable and non-skippable, right? I would also say skippable. But the thing is, in my mind, there is no skippable fusion, because thing is, guys, now I have been playing this game for a little about 2 years now, right? And I do have around 200 legendaries while spending at a medium level, let's say, right? Not low, and definitely not high. It could be classified as low, maybe. I'm in the several $1,000s neighborhood, I think. So, and if you divide my playtime, if you divide my number of legendary champions by my playtime, I arrive at something a little below 8 legendaries per month, right? And this includes login champions, promo champions, progressive champions, blah, blah, everything, right? Well, the point I'm trying to get at is, guys, the game does not throw legendaries at us, right? Legendary champions are not easy to get, right? And legendary champions have value no matter how bad they are, right? Because, guys, I do this, right? And randomly during a prism event, during a 2x, whatever it is, right, I get another. Then, even though he is garbage, let's say he is my 3rd faction guardian, he is going to produce 30 accuracy and 30 resistance for all of my Ogre legendaries, right? That means 30 accuracy and 30 resistance for my Grazur, for example, right? That's gonna help out. I think my Ogre is, by the way, remarkably weak, and it wouldn't help too much, but you never know. For example, I mean, we will be doing a video on it, but Gurgor the Ogre recently got buffed. There is that. You never know. And, you could empower. So, my 2 arguments for arguing that no fusion is skippable is legendaries do not grow on trees. That's my first argument. And my second supremely intelligent argument is a legendary is a legendary, right? I know it sounds a little bit funny, but I mean, what I mean by that is, no matter how garbage it is, it has potential to be a faction guardian. It has potential to be good, right? So guys, maybe this guy, I mean, I don't think so, but maybe this guy has some hidden potential we have not discovered. And the thing is, this has recently gained more weight. Maybe they will say, I mean, the October, the Halloween Fusion in 2024 was garbage. Let's just buff him, right? What will you do then? Because the thing is, guys, the decision that you make is final, right? I mean, I'm going to go for this fusion. I'm not going to go for this fusion. And you're like, in 3 days, you will not be able to go for this fusion, right? It's going to be too late. And what if they say 3 months later we are going to buff it? And the thing is, guys, I was always saying this, and I didn't really too much believe it. I was using it in an argument, but they recently buffed Great Floriaka, right? And she's still garbage. But maybe Brewguard Jeroboam's buff will be good. We never know, right? That's why I'm saying funny and trivial things like, a legendary is a legendary. And guys, it's especially so for fragment events, because the thing is, these are, just a wild card. Like, you can use them whenever you want. So a regular fusion, you have to do it in, like 16, 17 days. And if you are done with it, you can use it for at the best time for yourself, right? But these you can do them whenever, right? You can use it for personal CFC for a potential 30,000 points, right? You do it in the last minute with 20 of your clanmates. That's 600,000 burst. That is, I mean, you can't reply to that at that pace, right? So there is that. If you are not very CVC oriented, you can use it during a champion chase for a whopping 500 points. So, I would say fragment champions are novel. So, guys, let me take the example to the extreme. So this champion is bad, right? I mean, let's say if it was much worse. Let's say, guys, he didn't have a skill set, right? Just in theory, right? His skill set was empty. I mean, he was just a legendary champion that does nothing, right? I would do this fusion, right? No hesitation. Empty skill set. I would say, okay, very good champion, I'm gonna do it, right? So why am I taking to the extreme, right? But because I am hearing left and right people are skipping fusions, right? And it's a mistake. Because as I said, you never know what turn events will take. So guys, when people saw Blizzard, a lot of people said skip, who realized that he was he had the potential. He was the only champion to be able to solo Sand Devil Stage 25, right? No one. But he did. And the people that skipped it, are bashing their heads against the wall now, right? And as I said, this guy, I don't really think he has some sort of secret potential, but he could get buffed, he could be a faction guardian, and these are enough, right? And another thing, the video is going out of purpose and out of focus, but another thing is, guys, people are talking as if, you have to do all of it, all of that, all of those 2 weeks for that fusion. No, thing is, I mean, you should already be doing a Dragon tournament, a Fire Knight tournament, an Ice Golem tournament, a Spider tournament. These are good places to be in. And when they give extra rewards, you should just do them, especially with a 2x and a 3x on the desired items, right? So you should already be doing these, right? Arena tournaments are kind of a trivial thing, right? They do not count. And champion trainings, you should also be doing those. So the thing is, guys, the extra effort that you have to put in would be, opening shards during the champion chase, because opening during 2x is also a no-brainer, right? You should be doing those. And the extra energy that you have to invest in the dungeon divers, right? So that's the comparison that should be done. You shouldn't be saying, I have to do the arena tournament, I have to do the dragon tournament. You should already be doing those, right? Fusion or no fusion. So guys, in between fusions, there were some dragon tournaments, and I did those, right? And I didn't say it was fusion related, blah, 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 right? And that's how you should be approaching that kind of stuff. So the amount of extra work that you have to invest in is a few thousand energy and some shards. And I think that's worth it to get a legendary. So yeah. But verdict is champion is really bad, right? But you shouldn't be skipping any fusions. So it's a yes from me, and I know it doesn't count for too much because I just said, I would be doing a champion fusion that is with an empty skill set. Yeah, it is what it is. And I will see you on stream. I will try to include a calendar optimization video as well. It's a little bit late. Maybe it's going to be useless, but we'll see. See you on stream. Bye bye.